here's what I can tell you is we get taught in life how to make money. Like if we're lucky, we get taught how to make it, right? What people don't teach us is how to keep it, how to manage it, how to make money work for us compared to us work for it. And that's the gap. And I want to try to fill some of that gap today. I can only do so much with the time we have, but the gap is we're taught how to make it. And some of us make really good money. The downside is we at the end of the day, end of the month, end of the year, we don't have anything left. And it's like, where did it all go? So I'm going to share my screen here and I'm going to walk you through. I'm going to do this as quick as I can, but I'm going to walk you through my journey over the last about 20 years. And I'm going to make it as quick. Some of you guys have heard some of this stuff before, but I got to make it quick, Josh, so you know who's talking to you and what authority do I have to be able to speak to you in your life and how can I help you? Okay. Have I been in your shoes before and can I guide you? Can you listen to me? Can you trust that I have an idea what I'm talking about? So I'm going to start with this. Let me come here. So I'm going to do this as quick as I can because, Brooke, why do I want to do this quick?
So you have social proof and we understand who's talking to us.
Why do I want to do this quickly, though?
So you can ask me questions that I'm scared you're going to ask me?
Yes, so I can ask you questions because at the end of the day, I'm good. Like, I'm not here for me. I'm good. If I was here for me, I'd be on a beach or somewhere else. I wouldn't be with you guys, but I'm here for you to try to help you. Nicole, is what you were saying, like, hey, I'm trying to figure all this out. I need help. Well, that's why I'm here, is to help you. So to do that, the best thing I feel like I can do is to give you my background quickly. So that way you can see, okay, has he been there and done that? And then show you a system and then allow you to ask questions and me to question you. Okay. So just a heads up, if you don't ask me questions, I'm going to ask you questions, and that's when it could get uncomfortable. So, okay. So this is me at 20 years old. I've been in a licensed real estate agent for 20 years now. And so when I talk to you about sales, when I talk to you about real estate, 20 years of my life has been licensed. Before that, 16 years of my life before that, I've been around real estate agents because my dad was a real estate agent himself. So 85% of my life has been surrounded by people with a license, essentially entrepreneurs, people that have their own business, just like you guys. Okay. I didn't have a clue what I was doing when I was 20. No differently than you might not have a clue what you're doing at 30 or 40. Okay. But I will say this, my life, what makes my vision a little bit different than most people is I'm very clear that my family's first and business is second. Like I'm very clear on that. And if you get one thing out of today, when you get your priorities straight, everything else becomes easier. If you're having struggles today, it might be because your priorities are mixed up. Okay. So when I talk about priorities, my number one priority here is my wife. We've been together for 22 years now. She met me and I met her when we were 18. And since then, we've been together, been married now for 17 years. So when I talk about money today, I want to give you this. Me and my wife see money as completely a different tool. And I don't want to say that's good or bad. It causes, it's harder sometimes. But my wife sees it as a tool to make her happy and live life today. And I see it as a tool to make me happy and live life in a year, 5, 10, 20 from now. Okay. And what I found, it's a great mix of both of those that makes a great life. Because if I save all my money and then I die in 10 years with $1 billion hidden from everybody and never spend it, did I truly live a wealthy life? And vice versa. If I spent all my money today and had the biggest party in the world and was just so happy today, but tomorrow I was broke, is that truly a wealthy life? You see, it's a mixture of both. And that's what my wife taught me. Okay. Because I have my natural tendencies and she has hers. Life changed when I had my first child. So most of you are looking for something that's going to make some sort of change. If that's in your financials, if it's in your business, it's in your health, in your family, you're looking for something that sparks change. It might be a new job, who knows? But you're looking always for something to spark some change, because more than likely, if you're here with me, you're watching this later, you're trying to get somewhere that you're currently not. That's why you're investing in your education right now, right? Like, you're not here because this is fun and we're giving away cars. That's not why you're here. You're here to invest in yourself, to hopefully find a gold nugget or two to spark change, to become that person that's in your vision. And so for me, my daughter, when I had my first child, that's when my vision started to change. I share that with you because this is how I found it. Now, I wouldn't suggest necessarily having a kid to do that. It's a very costly thing with little sleep for a long time. Okay, this is just how I happen to do this. So you can see here, this is, I always love this picture of me and my daughter. You can see her face. She acts just like me, by the way. Hard to deal with most days. And then I was, at this time, I was 26 years old, and you can see I was in a suit. That was actually my Ralph Lauren suit. I remember that because I didn't have a lot of money to pay for it. Now, when I talk about not having a lot of money, it wasn't until my second child that really things changed for me. When I had my second child here, my son, at the age of 28, this is when I qualified for welfare. And I share that with you for you to have a mile marker in my life to say, okay, if this guy was on welfare at 28 and I see where he's at here today, how did he progress through? And not for me, but how can you translate what I did into your life so you can become the success that you desire? You can achieve the vision you want. And so at this age, I'm 28 years old, second kid, married. This is a mile marker in my life, collecting welfare. Okay, not my proudest moment by any means, but it is what it is. At that time, I got to work. I had a vision. My vision was, when my son graduates high school, that I want to be free. Okay, I didn't know exactly what that meant, but I knew I wanted to be free when he graduates. Right now, everybody here needs something that they're striving for. You need something that's going to pull you out of the mud when you get in it. And I can promise you, if you're not in the mud today, either one of two things. You've either been in the mud so dang long that you don't realize you're in it anymore, okay? Or two, you got to find that vision. You're lacking where you're going. So we need to figure out, what is that? And so this was I remember the house that I sold here. This was me at about 30 years old to 32. I can't remember the exact year, but I realized that I had to get my act straight. And so I went to work. Okay. I did three things really good. One, I found a coach and a guide. It was very important. Somebody I could follow their systems, which was two, I created systems. So I found a coach and a guide, and I created systems. And then three is, I had a vision. I knew where I wanted to go. Remember what the vision was? I wanted to be free when my son graduates. And so what was really cool is, just a short years after being on welfare, I was able to turn my business. I was worked at this local real estate company. I was agent number about 100 out of 100 at 28. Maybe I was in 92 at best, okay? But then within a short 4 years later, I ended up being the number one agent at the company. Through those three things, I found somebody who knew how to teach me. I worked on my systems and processes, and three, I had a vision. Okay? Those three simple things allowed me to propel my sales. Now, within those sales, what was really interesting is I still had a vision of where I wanted to get to. And I knew that I was at the end of the road where I was. John Maxwell teaches the law of the lid. You ever hear of, a fish will only grow as big as the aquarium that it's in? Well, my aquarium was pretty small. But at the time there, I was the big fish, where most people, when they're the big fish, are like, hey, look at me. For me, because my vision was bigger than what I was, I knew I had a problem. And so I went looking. I went looking to find something, somebody, something that could help me achieve my goals. You see, I wasn't satisfied because I wasn't where I was trying to get to. Now everybody else was like, Austin, look how good you're doing. You're making all these sales. You were on welfare. Now you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And then I'm like, well, I'm not satisfied. I'm not to where I'm trying to get to. I'm actually not even close. I'm on the path, but I'm not there. And so I pushed forward. And what I found guys, it's always about having a vision. Because I had a vision and I knew I had an issue, no one else could see it. I went looking. And what I found was this other company. I found a company that allowed me to give my talents, ability, and skills to other people. And if I were to do that and do it successfully, I could earn a residual income. That really struck home with me. I could earn a residual income if I give my talents and abilities to others. Now, at the time, at my old company, I was coaching and training about 75 agents on what was called today our Agent Success Program. It's essentially how to live a big life and run a big business. And a couple years before I moved, my top year in sales, just to let everybody know, I have a mile marker here, was 88 transactions. That was my top of my sales, was 88. And I did it in 38 and a half hours on average a week. That's important to know because selling almost 90 homes in 90 hours a week is not success. That's called chaos. I actually just texted one of my friends today. Her response to me was this. And this person makes millions a month, by the way. Her response was, my week is so messed up. I'm going to try to get you in. Life's a little chaotic. And I said, I get it. My life's not so crazy, so I can accommodate your crazy schedule. Here's why I say that. Business is deceiving. What you're chasing, you'll want more and more and more of it until you realize this doesn't feel so good being this successful. It's actually taking away from things that are most important. Okay. If you're not there yet, which 98% of the world's not there, you'll dream to sell 88 homes in a year. I always love when I speak on stage and say, raise your hand if you want to sell 88 homes. And everyone's like, me. And I'm like, it would destroy you, literally destroy you. It'll destroy your marriage. It'll destroy your family. It'll destroy yourself. It'll destroy your financials because you think that everything would be better because you have more. And really what's going to happen is your habits, your tendencies, your boundaries all get destroyed. And then someone like me comes in who's not impressed by you, doesn't care how much you sell, and to say, hey, what's important? And let's go get it back. Because I understand being at the top of your game and having things take away from really what's more important. Okay. So I moved to this company with the ability to give and receive a recurring income, a passive income. And I'll show you why that's important here. What was really cool after I moved there, I was named the instructor of the year out of like, I don't know, 20 some thousand people at the company and 250 instructors. They deem my work the best work. And I had to go back and reflect and ask myself why. And they never told me, by the way. Okay. So this is all just my beliefs at this point. I went up against some of the top coaches in the country. Why was my work better than their work? I think the word better has to be there. Maybe more impactful could be another word other than better. Because my presentation's not better. My polish isn't better. I'm not a polish guy, by the way. I believe what it was is my work was more holistic than other people's. Holistic meaning I worry about and look at your life as a whole and your business and how they go together. And it's the whole approach that I think matters, not just an individual piece. Once again, if someone just teaches you how to make money, but they don't teach you how to save it, what do they really do? Cause you more stress in your life? I mean, at the end of the day, what did they really achieve? But if someone can teach you not only how to make it, but how to save it and how then to save it and to put it into your life's vision to help you to get to where you need to get to, now we're changing lives. You catch me? Now we're changing lives. We're taking our work and we're putting our work into the purpose of our life. One of my mentors once said, the purpose of a business is to support the lifestyle of the business owner. I'll say that again. The purpose of a business is to support the lifestyle of the business owner. So how is your business right now supporting your lifestyle? For most of you, it's not. right? And that's okay. Like, that's not how it starts. The question becomes is, do you have a guide to recorrect you when you're off path? Remember, 36 years, I'm sorry, 34 years of my life has been surrounded by people like you who have great intentions, great human beings, great souls, but you're off track the majority of your life. And no one's there to help you recorrect. I talk to my friends who make millions of dollars a month and they're not online. Their business is great, but their business isn't supporting their lifestyle. They need a guide to help correct them, who to say, hey, I don't care if you make 1 million or 5 million a month, or if you make $50 a month. I don't really care about your money. Your money is just a tool to help me help you achieve what you're trying to do. Right? That's the purpose of this. I believe that's why I was named Instructor of the Year personally. Now, once again, no one ever told me that, but my work keeps reigning true. Now, I found another piece here. Josh, pay attention. I can't see you, so I hope you're paying attention. We started building our real estate team, and we built a real estate team off of, we did it a little differently. I tend to do everything a little differently from other people. We built it off of these two platforms, impact and leverage. And we built it off of impact and leverage. I try to watch what I say here. I see most real estate teams built off of, in my opinion, the wrong foundation. And I see most real estate teams built off of ego and money. Ego, like, look at me and look how much I sell and look at all these people. And I don't think they mean it in the wrong way. They're just not corrected when they get off path. And then I think they build it off of money, which is, hey, I'm going to make all this money. Well, in all reality, that's not how any of this really works. So we built this off of impact and leverage. What do I mean by that? I wanted to closely take in people and change their lives. I knew I could do it. One, I did it myself, and I saw other people have success. And so I wanted to start to scale it. Well, how did we scale it? We scaled it through a real estate team. And then I wanted impact and I wanted leverage. Why? What was leverage? Well, I didn't want to sell 88 homes anymore. Not that there was anything wrong with it, but I knew my life had a greater purpose. It was time to turn the page. And so I worked on referring my business to these individuals, and I impacted them by training them on what's called our Agent Success Program. Actually, they got all of our programs. We train them all the time on. And this small group of about 25 agents on average ended up being one of the most productive per agent teams in the country without buying leads. Okay, I've never bought a lead in my life. There's nothing wrong with it, but I've never bought a lead in my life. I've never given a lead to an agent. I didn't believe in that. Okay, I wanted to do it the other way because leads to me equal more of a chaotic lifestyle. If somebody says, hey, you have to answer your phone when someone calls, I'm going to say, you're crazy. My phone hasn't rang in 12 years. Okay, since I was on welfare, my phone has been on silent with no vibrate. So if you're telling me right now I have to answer my phone to grow a business, I'm going to tell you you're wrong. 100% you're wrong. Oh, by the way, I got to pay for this too? Now you're crazy. I'll just work with people I like and I know. Now, let me get it straight. It's not instant gratification when you do that. But nothing done right is normally instant gratification. Like, the hard road takes time, but it's normally worth traveling. So once again, this team right here ended up being one of the most productive per agent teams in the country without me giving them anything. Actually, my philosophy when they came on the team is I don't give you anything. You don't get a coat, you don't get money, you get nothing. You really get nothing. What I gave them was these three things. If you run a team, this is important to know. I give them the culture to thrive in. I give them systems to operate on, and I give them a coach, which was me. I give them a guide to tell them what to do and what not to do. Like, hey, if you turn right, you're going to go through the mud. Go left. It all equals the same place, but go left, don't go right. Your competition's going right. Go left. It's easier. So that's what we did. That's how we grew this. Now, Josh, pay attention here. As I was doing all this in the background, I knew that money was important. And so what I did in the background was I started buying some real estate. And I created what's called my wealth machine. It's actually module 12 of my newest program, Wealth. I created my wealth machine, and some of you guys have seen this before. Most of you have not. But my wealth machine was essentially a machine that when my commission check came in from sales or my team or whatever company, my commission check got processed. And when I say process, what I mean by that is the money was taken and put into the proper accounts to serve my life. Remember, the purpose of a business is to support the lifestyle of the business owner. So let me ask you, how good is your lifestyle if you're behind on your taxes? Not so good. I can promise you right now, not so good. And if you think it is, you got a rude awakening coming. How good is your life if you're not investing for your future? How good is your life if you're not giving to other people? So I created a wealth machine that I now train on to help me produce these rental properties. Now, these rental properties today, I own about 45. These rental properties have made me financially free. They actually make me more money than I personally earn in a year. Oh, don't sound too bad. As my friend says, that doesn't suck. Yep, some of you have heard that phrase before. That doesn't suck. That's pretty great. Because I knew if I had to earn my money today, I might always have to earn it later. I'll say that one again as a warning to you. If you have to today work to earn money, which is all of you, or at least most 99% of you, if you have to work to earn money, let that be a warning that you might always have to work to earn money unless you figure out, how do my assets pay me? How do I build assets, grow assets, and have them pay me so I don't have to work to earn money? It's a key. After doing all this, we decided to open up a company called Chevron Coaching, which essentially puts all of our knowledge, our skills, our success, and our failures, and we package them together and we train other people how to have the same success. Okay, we do that through our live programs and through our recorded, produced training programs. I can do this now because we've got our financials in place, because we've done the hard work. Now what I get to do is to give. I get to give my knowledge, my ability, my skills to other people. Remember, how does the purpose of the business support the lifestyle of the business owner? Well, one of the important things in my lifestyle was to be able to spend it with these. There's my daughter, my kid, my son, and my wife now. I want to make sure that if my son has a game, I get to go to it. I want to make sure if my daughter has a competition in Dallas, I can fly to Dallas. I want to make sure if my wife needs me or if I want to do whatever I want, I'm able to do that. I've made my businesses work for me. I've created systems and processes to ensure that I can keep the money after I make it. Okay? And because of this, I'm more free today than I ever have been. I'm 40 years old. I'm not a billionaire by any means. I've worked my butt off. Well, let me back up. 12 years ago, I was on welfare. I created a vision that says when my son graduates high school, which he's in middle school now, that I wanted to be free. Free of time, free of money, and free of locations, my 3 freedoms. Free of time, which means no one has my clock. I have my own clock. Free of money, which means not necessarily do I have to, let me back this up here so I can see you guys. Free of money to me means I don't have to think about how much do I need to charge to be on this call right now. Okay? It's not do I need the money. It's free of the thought of how much do I charge per hour to speak. I'm more of a prisoner to that than needing the money today. And then free of location. How can I get my business in a place where I can be in Detroit today if I wanted to be? I could be down on the beach. I could be wherever I wanted and still do the work that I want to do. Okay? I'm going to share this next thing with you. Let me do this 1 second, and I'm getting ready for questions here, so get your butt ready. We talked about this. I'm going to show you how I did this and how I documented this process. I'm going to give 5 minutes on this. Brooke, give me a thumbs up if you see my little pyramid here. Thank you. So here's what we did. I spent 60 days writing this out. We'll actually have a wealth explained next week if you want to get in and have me explain this in more detail. Here's what I can tell you. If you want to have generational wealth, you got to work on these three things. You got to work on your personal finances to start with. And boy, those are a mess. That's where most of the work happens, is in your personal finances. Now, I had a lot of people tell me, well, Austin, I don't have a lot of money. And I want to say, great, this will be a lot easier for you than other people. Because when you have millions, it's tough. If you only got $4, it's pretty easy to account for it. So no excuses here. After you work on your personal finances, then what I want to do is work on your business financials. So most of the people in here either have a business, are in business of some kind. Business is different. It has a different mindset. When you own a business, you got to look at this one right here. You got to pay your own taxes right in the middle. That's module 15. Well, 60% of real estate agents, to my knowledge, are behind on their taxes. Why is that? Because the government doesn't take it out of our check. Well, that's never going to equal wealth if you're behind on your taxes. I've never seen it yet. I've never seen someone say, hey, I am truly wealthy with money, happiness, joy, freedom, and everything, and be 50 grand behind on their taxes. I haven't found it yet. And so we got to work on these things. After we get our business, then what I call generational wealth is the outside of our pyramid with our money wheel, our insurance, our assets, our passive income. Watch this, Josh, assets and passive income. I told you earlier on that I had a vision of where I needed to get to. And I knew that if I had to work for my money, I was fearful that I might always have to work for it. And so I knew I needed to get my assets making more money in a year than I personally made. That would help me get to my freedom. And so because I had that vision early on, I knew I needed to work on them. And so I created what was called my wealth machine, which is module 12, a system to process my money. So that way, when I had money left over, I could invest it into my future. Now, for this conversation, if you want to know more on that, like I said, next Thursday, we're having a wealth explained. I'll go in half-hour detail on just this. Here's what I want to leave before we open it up for questions here. And we're going to have a conversation. Look at the last two modules. This is what it's all about. Right there. Make them as big as possible so you can't not see these. Okay. Inheritance. Inheritance, to me, when I talk about wealth and living a wealthy life, it's about what am I passing on to the generations after me. If that's building a church, if that's building a library, if that's giving money to my kids, if that's making sure my wife is good when I'm not here, whatever that is. Part of wealth to me is to be able to pass on and have my name live on after me. Here's what wealth is not. It's leaving this earth and having your family hate each other because you left them a mess. Okay? If you're in real estate like I am, you'll know that happens way too often because I'm the one dealing with the kids when mom or dad dies. And now it's a mess and the kids hate each other and Austin's trying to sell their house. Or I tell stories about having a husband, actually a life story where I have a husband who had rental properties. And when he died, the wife got him and she wanted nothing to do with them. And guess what? Well, I'm not going to tell you. You can go through the program and listen to what happens. That's not wealth to me, what happened there. And one of the most important things, actually, Marissa, we talked about this 2.5 years ago, I think, and I wrote it down. I have not done a training. Well, actually, this might be the training. But it's how do you get your mind to become abundant with financials compared to having a scarcity mindset? How do we truly change your mindset around money? Like, do you have a true abundance mindset or are you running on a scarcity mindset? And most of us, from my knowledge, run on a scarcity mindset, like it or not. If you had $100 in your wallet, would you give it all away? Or would you say, I only have 100? If you had $1,000 in your bank account, would you give 100, 200, 300 of that away to the homeless, church, somebody else who needs it? And truly, by getting your money right, this whole program here, by getting all your money right, what it does, it allows you to live an abundance life, an abundance thinking, an abundance bank account, an abundance in terms of wealth. And it starts with the question, what does wealth mean to you? What does wealth mean to you? That's actually a live question that we asked when we were in Detroit. If you guys were there, Nate, Jamie was there, they were asking you that question. What does wealth mean to you? And if you don't truly know what it is, and we don't have a North Star that we're getting, like it's not guiding us. And where the heck are we trying to get to? And why are we trying to get there? And then how does all of our actions, everything we're doing, our business, how do these things align with where I'm trying to get to? How do my properties serve my vision? Josh, go back to your properties. How do these properties truly serve the vision that you have? And a lot of times we need to step back and ask ourselves, well, what is my vision? Where the heck am I trying to get to? Nicole's still driving. If she didn't know where she was driving, like most of us in life, if she doesn't know where she's driving, what's the chances that she's ever going to get there? She has an actual place that she's trying to get to, right, Nicole? Yep. You have somewhere where she's trying to get to. That's called a goal, by the way. She has a goal. Now, she might be a little late. I'm not sure right now. You late or are you on time? Yep. Just leave that mic open. This is question time now.
Yeah,
she's going.
My life.
So she has a goal. This is important to know. She has a system to get there. Okay. How does everything we have in our life align to help us get to where we're trying to get to? That's the work. That's the work in which I do most days. I take people and I figure out, where are you trying to get to? What are all these pieces you have? And how do we align these pieces to where you're trying to get to? And then what pieces actually do we not need anymore? Module 6, I'm going to share this. I'm going to share this picture again real fast. Module 6, simplify, is what I'm talking about here. And what's cool about this module, I actually, to explain this, I do a puzzle in front of you. I sit down and I do a puzzle. And I show you how doing a puzzle is like living your life and trying to figure out, what pieces do I need? What's the order in which I put them in place? And then what pieces are not needed? This puzzle happens to have 4 puzzles within it. So when you dump it out, you have all the pieces. And I'm not trying to do all those puzzles. That's Marissa's puzzle. It's not Austin's puzzle. So I don't need her pieces in my puzzle. But in this box, they're all together. So I actually did module 6 is me putting together a puzzle and teaching you how your financials are like that. So Josh, I told you to write something down. We have time now. Now I want to talk to you personally. What questions do you have based off of your vision, your financials, a system, a process, a guide, a mentor? What do you got, man? He's like, yep, this is what we were talking about.
Is that better now? I can hear you. Okay.
I got you.
So I like, so it's funny that you said all that taxes stuff. So when my mom passed in 2022, and I think we had I think it was like $125,000 just in her back taxes, like that she just didn't pay her property taxes. So my sister and I were like, what are we gonna do? So basically, yeah, we just kind of let our business pay for itself to get back on track. So her and I just got normal, I actually worked security at a hospital for six months, and she did some whatever I forgot what she even did. But so that the business actually, we didn't have to do anything different. We just kind of kept doing our thing and doing our job, and then the business got itself out of that. But now I'm having the trouble of getting more, because now I am all of them are paid off. So it's I'm getting that, what do they call that? Not tunnel vision, but you're thinking of too many different options. So then you're just stuck.
A lack of focus.
Yeah, that might be it too. Yeah.
Priority. It's a lack of priority, lack of focus, which is normally what happens when you do good things. It's like, I have all these plates spinning now. Which one do I focus on?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that it was Like right now we're looking into buying like an FHA duplex
Yeah.
and checking that out. And that just I know that, like doing security, I mean it makes you like, I think I'm making like 17.50 an hour right now. But it's just not enough. Like I've been divorced now for 2 years, and that has been the hardest part is like, like when my son does have a football game now at 5 o'clock, I can't go to it because I got to do another job. And I'm like, this isn't what I want.
So let me
So,
say this, Josh. There's seasons. Me and Marissa were just talking about this. There's seasons in life. And my season now is a lot better than it was 10 years ago. And if you can understand when you're in the season, Josh, you said you live in Maumee. I don't know where Maumee's at.
oh, like
I'm
like a
assuming.
suburb of like Toledo.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm in Fort Wayne.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I do know where you're at now. So
Yeah.
let me say this. We all live in northern states. When it gets cold, you wear a coat. I wear my Carhartt when it gets cold.
Mhm.
Okay, it's a season. Now, the last thing I'm going to do is wear my Carhartt in July.
Right.
I would just be stupid then.
Right.
Okay, so you have to understand that life has seasons, and what season you're in and what sacrifices that you have to make in that season. So now the question is are you in the season of your kids right now? Are you in the season of producing income? Like, what is the season that you're in? I can't personally answer that for you, but understand you're in a season in different areas of your life, and which one of these needs your focus the most? And that's where you got to go.
Right.
Which one of these is struggling the most that I need to be all in? And if that means that business is just going to take a little hit for a month or so while I go to my son's games because he's only got 1 month left and the business takes a hit.
Mhm.
Like, it's always a matter. It's always readjusting what you're doing to best ensure you're getting to where you're trying to get to. And as soon as you think you know the right answer, an hour later, there could be a new right answer.
Right.
The
Always changing.
question, yeah, my team hates me because I'm always willing to make the next right move. So if yesterday I decided, hey, we're gonna go ride with Nicole during this training, we're gonna go ride with her because that was the right answer. And then today I decided that she's driving in places and her internet's not so good, so I'm not going to ride with her. I found that out. Then what we're doing is pivoting. And my team's going to say, well, Austin, we just paid for all this stuff. We agreed to do this. You drove up there. Well, I'm always willing to make the next right decision. So understand this. I'm going to cap this off with you. There's seasons, and then there's the next right decision. Make sure you align those two things to where you're trying to get to. And don't worry about what everybody else says. They're not going where you're going. They won't understand.
Right. Makes sense.
Miss Nicole, I'm picking on you now, girl.
Great.
Okay, my introverted, extroverted friend here, let's say, right?
Yep.
Okay. This is our second or third time together. How many?
I think this is, well, do we count you coming to the mastermind last week? So that we'll call this 3 times.
I would count that.
All
Didn't
right.
say a whole lot. So
Three
let me
times, I
ask
think.
you this. You've been in real estate 6 years.
Yes.
Okay. Icon.
Yeah, 4 times.
Yep. Congrats, by the way.
Thank you.
Real estate probably hasn't taught you to be so organized, has it?
I mean, I try, but it's not easy.
Yeah. Financially, right now, what do you wish somebody would have taught you 6 years ago?
I wish I would have learned to kind of manage the funds better and allocated more. Like I tried reading Profit First, and it gave me so much anxiety. I had to stop reading it. I could not finish it. And also, I was in a partnership that was very mismanaged. We did not do a good job with financials at all. I'm out of that. So I feel like now I could go back and readjust things to make it better. But at this point in my business, I wish I had, like rental properties or something. Like I wish I had more to be able to have some of that income just flowing in, like the mailbox money that they all talk about.
Let's unpack Jasmine and Ann right now. What you wish you would have had more. You had definitely had the option, it sounds like, to be able to have more, right? Like it was there. What would you suggest somebody else do to not do what you did and not do what I did? Like, what would you suggest, knowing what you know?
So I was talking about this yesterday. I did a podcast with somebody yesterday, and I said, one, like, you don't need everything all at once. I am, and I think a lot of realtors, we are like squirrels. We're always chasing the bright, shiny thing, or, we're always looking for the next best thing. And the basics are what's most important. And I tell people all the time, do not run out and buy all the signs and all the cards and all the things and do all of the stuff, because I made that mistake. And I bought, I did my brand and I did all my stuff and I ran out and I bought all the signs and I did all the things, and 6 months later I hated my branding and I wanted to change everything. So I literally lost all of the money that I spent on all of those things because they're just sitting in my basement right now. So managing that stuff was probably one of my biggest things that I talk to new agents about.
You know what I just heard you say, Marissa? Did you hear that? She invested in scaling, and so she bought all the signs, she bought all this, she bought it all, because we were gonna need how many real estate signs when we had 0 listings? We were gonna need 5 to 10 real estate signs, right? Like I got a big vision.
I had high hopes.
We had a big vision, and sometimes what we need to do is just fight for today. And what do I need today? And how do I delay gratification? Now, don't get me wrong. I like to buy, and I buy for the future if I can save money today, and I hedge my bets that I'm going to need it. But I would tell you, and I'm very frugal with my money. Okay. I wish, Nikki, I wish you were here because we could have had a frugal conversation. She might laugh if she watches this, right? Then she might laugh. But she'll know that I'm speaking her language. Here's what I can say is I'm very frugal myself. But I bet out of everything I've done in my life, when I bought things for the future, and I've even saved money because I bought it ahead of time, that it probably equaled out that I didn't save any money because some of the things I bought I never even used. And like if I could get 2 for 1 or I get 33% off, I never even got around to using it because my vision changed, something changed, my marketing changed, whatever it was. So it goes back to if I could go back to somebody new getting in business, I would say get your money right to start with. Understand it. Understand how you think about money. How were you raised? What is your goal? What are you even trying to achieve? If you make hundreds of thousands of dollars, like what is the purpose of this money? What are you going to do with it? Because you, as you were saying, Nicole, you have the option, but because the vision, the systems, the mentoring is missing, we just blow through all the money with great intentions, but it's like, where the heck did it go? Like right now, you've made money. You've iconed 4 times. What that means is you've probably made 6 figures the last 4 years.
Yeah.
Just guessing. And we have no rental houses yet. Like, where the hell's our rental houses? Why don't we have any rental houses? We're in real estate. We want to reserve a passive income coming in. And this isn't about you, Nicole, but this is the reality, which is I run into really good people who make really good money, who for some reason after 5, 10, 15, 20 years, we just weren't taught, like, how do I keep what I have? And if you can learn that, the world changes, and it can change quickly too. It can completely change. I'm an example. So, Brooke or Marissa, I'm gonna go to one of you two now. You two have invested a lot of time with me over the years. If you had one financial question to ask me, what are you hoping to get out of the wealth program? Let's go to that. I'm asking you a question. I'm not going to let you ask me one. Brooke, I'm going to start with you.
Oh,
What do you
gosh.
hope? Oh, yeah, here's Austin. What do you hope to get out of the wealth program when you go through it?
I would say kind of like what you've been saying, like no one really shows you like the path of how to do things or like what to do with your money. So I think based off of everything I've learned from you and like watching where you've gone over 12 years, I think that once I finish the wealth program, I should have a clear path of where I need to go and how to organize my financials to be successful and have rental properties and eventually have freedom.
Yeah. What about you, Marissa? What do
So,
you hope? You can't say the same thing she said. Nope.
yep.
That's why I
would
let
say
you go
it's
second.
similar but different. So Brooke and I do talk about this a fair amount, is that no one showed us the path and we are the giving people. So if I have $5, I will give it to anybody. If I have my friend's birthday, I will spend $100 taking them out to make them feel special that I have no business spending. And so we've done everything backwards. One, because we haven't had examples, but then that's two, also just our nature. We're very giving people. And so we haven't had a good example to tell us how to manage and do both, like to still be that giving that serves and like, because it fuels us too. Like we feel good when we make other people feel good and we spend money on our friends and make them feel special and friend, family and whatever, but we have nothing to show for our income. And we are looking at each other in our mid to late 20s saying, crap, we still are young enough that we have time to really take some action and set ourselves and future generations up. But who's showing us? No one. So that's what we've talked about a couple of times, Austin, is, and you're so generous and you're giving as well. And you're like, all right, like that's not true. You have me, like you're good. So that's been huge.
Yeah, let's go. Is what I say. Like, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Nicole, give me the vision for 10 years. 10 years from now, where do you want to be?
Hopefully on a beach with a margarita. I
Yeah,
mean,
I take it.
honestly, yeah, like I would like to, at that point, my daughters, so we're the same age. Oh, I'm 41. I have my daughter's starting college this year, and I have a middle schooler. So I shouldn't say that. Well, she is probably starting college in the fall. She's a senior this year. So I have a new set of goals. And this has always been a point of concern of mine. This is why I got into real estate, because I wasn't making enough money as a dental assistant. I needed more money. So I found something that I was passionate about and that I enjoyed doing, albeit stressful. I make good money and I want to be able to help my daughter through college so she's not struggling through the whole way. I want to make sure that I have my son set up so then when he goes to college, he's ready to go. I would like to have income coming in to where I can go and stay the winters in, Florida, not necessarily Florida. I don't really want to go to Florida, but somewhere warm, somewhere nice. I want to be able to have life and freedom to be able to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it. And that's kind of how I live now, which is probably not the most beneficial for me, where it's like, if I want it, I get it. And I mean, I am frugal too. I don't go out and spend, on luxurious things, and I don't go on crazy, I do go on vacations, but I don't go all out. We find the cheapest places to go and do the stuff and all that. But I want to be able to have the money and the funds and the freedom to be able to do and go where I want to go and spend the amount of money that I want to, and have the house that everybody wants to come back to when they come back in town. I want to have that life.
So what we all just heard her talk about, I'm going to share my screen here again, show you how this works. What we all just heard her talk about is she has a goal. Okay, we heard it very clearly. We heard multiple goals here, which is module 1. The next thing that she then needs to work through is awareness of how she thinks about money, how she feels about it, what her childhood looked like, all her surroundings, and becoming aware of, when I talk about money, what does that feel like? What are my emotions to it? What are my tendencies and habits? And then after we build that out, then we get into this, which is the spending. And the spending is where most of our problems are. Our spending module here is threefold. It's one, becoming aware of what you spend. Two, categorizing what you spend, because I don't believe all of our money is the same. I have money, fixed money in my life that, hey, I have an electric bill for my house, that my electric bill has to get paid. I look at that completely different than buying the margarita on the beach. Okay. Actually, the margarita on the beach to me is a lifestyle choice, which is my second category. So I have fixed, I have lifestyle, and then I have what I call extras, which is our module 9. And I help you identify what all these extras are. Let's say you fly down to the beach. Well, if you fly first class, that could be an extra to me. It's like you could sit your ass in the back where Austin sits and get there just fine. And now we could have an extra $700 that we could put towards a rental house in the future. And so what I realize is that when we spend money, we break it down into 3 sections. And then we take our last section, which is the extras, and we say, how do we live on a little bit less of these? And the only thing I want everybody to hear this, Jasmine, I saw you, you did your sparklers earlier, so I know you're still listening. The only way I know how to help someone get there is 1, create a vision for them and help them make sure they have that. And 2, stop buying all the stuff that doesn't serve your lifestyle. Okay. It doesn't mean you can't have some of it, but we have to stop it. We have to limit it. In the program, I go through an example of, I think the average person, over the years that I've talked to, spends about $1,400 a month in extras. Could be a little more, could be a little less, all just depends on who you are. At 1,400, I actually give my life financials in there. I go through, I do the work with you in this program. I literally pull up my financials like, oh, that sucks. What happened here? It looked like our financial bus got blown up by somebody. We have a terrorist. I always call my wife and say, did we get robbed last night? She's like, I hate you. I'm like, did somebody rob us? I looked at her bank account, it looked like we got robbed. Okay. Here's why I'm telling you this. I'm looking at the extras. What are all these extras that aren't serving our happiness today that I could delay a little bit of gratification? This doesn't really make me happy. Having Starbucks 6 times a week doesn't make me happy. 3 does, 6 doesn't. 6 is just over and above. It's this extra. Could I take those extra 3 and put them into something that makes me happy called my future, my goals, my vision? So Nicole, that's the work we go through. I'm not telling people not to have what they want, but if you could have a little bit less today and put that towards where we need to get to, like, life starts to change. So I don't know, timing wise, I'll open up Jasmine. And did you guys, I know you two were busy doing other things, did you two have a question? If you want to unmute, if not, I understand. You've communicated really well today with me, so I appreciate that. I want to honor you. Give yourself a chance if you have something to ask. Jasmine was painting and Ann was cleaning. 2 very respectable things. I should give you ladies my address. I need both of those done. I could go there. I'll train you and you guys clean and paint.
That might be a trade. Anne might be on board for that. Well, this has been great. Could you tell us how to sign up for your wealth thing? Is there a cost to it? That info?
What I would say is, if you go to our website, chevroncoaching.com, and Chevron spelled with an I, it's CHEV as in Victor, IRON. I always said God gave us an I in our name, so we had to work, because the gas stations don't have an I. So if you go to our website, chevroncoaching.com, the program that I was talking about with you guys today is our wealth program. It's our newest one, launching November 5th, 2024 here. I will have Wealth Explained to help better break down each module. What was the purpose of it? How do they stack together? What's missing? What's the order? We'll have a Wealth Explained webinar once a month, as wealth can be a very tricky thing. Some people think it's about having millions. To me, it's really about joy and happiness and freedom, about all those things. Marissa, can you actually, there's a new link here too. 1 second, I'm going to put
I was
this
gonna
in
say,
there.
Austin, you're in the actual Facebook group now too. So if you wanted to go ahead and make a post about this, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I'll do that here right after this.
Mm.
So for you guys in here, I'll put this as our new webinar link. I don't know if anybody can find it yet. But I go through and explain the program, and it's really important that you understand how the pieces work together, what the order is, how they stack, because you might actually do what Brooke and Marissa are doing, which is, hey, I really focus on the giving, but the problem is then if I give too much, then I don't have anything down here to help build. And I could look at it to say, you could give 10 times more in 3 years if we got this stuff right, and then it built and stacked. You could give a lot more. But getting the order in is very, very important. So I'll put something in Modern Agent Blueprint, the Facebook group here for us. Any last questions before I run today? All good, all good. Okay, Josh, thanks for
All
joining
good.
us today, brother. Sounds like you're here, you're investing in yourself, and hopefully, if you got one nugget, what was the one nugget you got out of today? Last thing, 30 seconds. What's the one thing you got out of today?
I would say I really like that. You talked about like why you want to get the money, why you want the freedom. And I've kind of known what it was, but it's nice that there's a more other people that understand and know, because I'm not in a bubble in mommy, obviously, but like it feels like there is, because like there's like I don't know anybody else that's into that kind of thing, and if they are into it, they're, oh hey, I'm a millionaire and you're just some punk kid who wants to be cool, and I'm like, well, I'm not totally a punk, but I try to be a good person, and it's just funny how people that are into that kind of thing, that have rental properties and that are these people. There's a really big guy around here who knew my dad, and basically told me that if I'm not a millionaire, he doesn't want to talk to me. And I was like, well, dang, that's a pretty crappy way to think. I'm sorry that you feel that way. And he didn't really appreciate that, but I was like, not like you're better than me kind of thing, but like,
Yeah.
like, what are you doing? Like, and I even told him, I said, if someone came to me that needed, advice, that I would try my best to steer them in the right direction. It's just some people just kind of want everything for themselves, and it's funny that there are
That's
good
it.
people.
That's a scarcity mindset right there. And I would say, Josh, I know you're finishing out your real estate classes and all that, but I will say that, so when I joined EXP, so Nikki is part of my group at EXP, and I will say joining a national global brokerage opens you up to meeting a lot of people outside of your local network. And I think that is one of the biggest reasons why I've had my success, is that I'm surrounded by bigger minds, by people who know more than me, who do more than me. And when you're, I don't know that I would be thriving like I am if I went to like a local brokerage near me. I just don't think I would. They don't have that same vision. They don't have that same mindset. So I will say, if, when you're looking at brokerages and you're trying to make decisions, I think you should definitely take that into consideration too.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah.
Well, thank you everybody for having me on. Appreciate you.
problem.
Great seeing you. And
Thank you.
I'll see you guys around. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks so
Thanks,
much,
Austin.
Austin.